Midas Radio 90.5 FM Ado Ekiti. Lọ́jọ́ tòní, a tún máa kọjú síbi tí ó yẹ kí a kọjú sí ní ọ̀rọ̀ tó ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú lílò àti àṣìlò oògùn lágbègbè wa.
I see them in Europe and America looking for hope. Everywhere they go, they're lonely, can't find no one bed. You'd like to see the children.
On the program today, we will be considering the issue of substance abuse again, but from a fundamental approach, from the background, from the foundation. Yorùbá ní ilé la ti ń kẹ́ṣọ̀ọ́ ròde, and today we are going to be looking at the role of parents in substance abuse control. Kí ni ojúṣe àwọn òbí, kí ni ojúṣe agbègbè, kí ni ojúṣe ilé to control substance abuse. But before we even get to their role, we will be looking at how can the family environment, how can it influence substance abuse? How can a home environment influence substance abuse? How can parental behavior or parental pattern influence substance abuse among children? My name is Oluwasegun Adeleke, and you know that this program is brought to you by NDLE Ekiti State Command with sponsorship from Kayode Adamolekun Foundation. We have been doing this for a couple of months, and we will run through this program till the end of the year. Our guests are right here. Our guests are right here, and you know them, they're familiar faces. But today we have more persons, and I would say maybe because we are preparing for Christmas, there's a lot of enforcement activities going on with NDLA State Command. As you know, that we usually have Officer Musa Balogun Adiola on the program, who's the head drug demand reduction department of the NDLA State Command. Today I have a regular suspect on the show. He's an officer of the law, but I decided to call him that, not because he's a suspect in a way, but because when you think about NDLA Wada Hafawa, his picture would come to your mind. I'm talking about the PRO of NDLA State Command, Officer Fabi Ifeoluwa, who is an assistant superintendent of narcotics with the NDLEA Nigeria. This morning we'll have the chance to open the phone line for you to call in and share your thoughts with us about the topic that we are going to be discussing this morning. Again, welcome on the show. We also have in the house this morning Assistant Superintendent of Narcotics 2, Adekonla for Lashade. Together, we are going to be doing justice to the concept before us this morning. We have also in the studio ASN 2, that's Assistant Superintendent of Narcotics 2, Kolo Yusuf Nuruddin. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Let's begin with what we have before us. Men of the Law Enforcement Agency. I'm Amulede Gesi at the Yobani. But let's begin from the English perspective this morning. Let's have an overview of the scope of substance abuse and why it's a major concern for families and societies.
Good morning, Mr. Shegun. And once again, good morning to all our listeners at home. When we are talking about substance abuse and why it's a problem in our society, especially for parents, it is still just like what we have been discussing on this program from the beginning. In Ekiti State, in Nigeria, and even all over the world, substance abuse has been a major source of concern because at the root of most criminal activities in our society is drug abuse problem. At the root of this kidnapping, banditry, terrorism is drug. In fact, it got so bad in the northeast part of the country at some point that the terrorists, whenever they kidnap individuals, they demand for drug as ransom instead of money because they need it. Now, we found out that family being the bedrock of society have a huge role to play, especially parents, because they say charity begins at home. We also believe as drug law enforcement officer that drug abuse preventive education should also begin from home.
We'll get to that particular aspect where we talk about, some of these tools to engage while we want to control substance abuse and tackle it from the roots. Let me ask our other officer in the house this morning, that Officer Adekonla Folashade, ASN 2. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n bi yín báyìí. Wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ipa tí substance abuse ń kó ní àwùjọ wa. wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ wípé wọ́n ṣe àpẹẹrẹ àwọn north eastern part of the country pé àwọn tó yẹ pé wọ́n máa ń cause wàhálà yìí wọ́n máa ń demand fún drugs, and all of those things, and the impact on the society. Ṣé substance abuse náà ṣé ó máa ń fa wàhálà nínú ilé gangan,
ok, ẹ ṣe gan lóòótọ́. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹnì kejì mi bọ́n ṣe sọ darí, ojú lásán kò ṣeé ṣe wèrè. Àwọn tàdé ń sọ leléyìí kò ń ṣe pé bóyá tó bá fẹ́ fa gbogbo àwọn jàgídíjàgan yẹn, kò ṣe pé bóyá wọ́n kàn máa dìde látọ̀rí, wọ́n ní nǹkan kan tó máa lò gẹ́gẹ́ bí tó máa ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́. Just like ẹni tó fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan aburú ńsìn yìí, ó ní nǹkan tó yẹ pé ó fẹ́ ṣe wàhálà yẹn, nǹkan tó yẹ pé ó máa jẹ́ kí ojú ẹ̀ le, tí ò ní bóyá ó ń rò pé jẹ́ kí n ṣàánú ẹni yìí. So tẹ́ bá lọ sí gbogbo àwọn northern part, àwọn ibi tí wọ́n sọ yẹn, ẹ máa rí pé gbogbo àwọn criminal táwọn sọ yìí náà kò ń ṣe pé bóyá gbogbo wọn ló jẹ́ pé ó lẹ́mìí wàhálà yẹn, but the moment wọ́n bá ti mú gbogbo oríṣiríṣi tó bá ti mú papọ̀ yẹn, for that moment kò ń ṣe àwọn gangan ni wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́. Ìkókó àwọn egbògi olóró oríṣiríṣi tán ti lò yẹn, ó ti máa take control. So that is the reason why I tell you pé egbògi olóró yẹn ó jẹ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan tó yẹ pé a lè jẹ́ pé nǹkan ló ń fún wọn lókun, nǹkan tó ń tì wọ́n láti ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan tó ń ṣe. Ni ló jẹ́ wípé kò sí bá ṣe rí egbògi olóró, ó ń lọ hand in hand pẹ̀lú bí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìwà ọ̀daràn, ìjínigbé, ìfipábánilòpọ̀, wàhálà lọ́tùn lósì bó ṣe ń pọ̀ sí. Kọ̀sẹ̀ bá wọ́n sí yìí kò ń ṣe gbogbo èèyàn náà ló fẹ́ jẹ́ pé òun ò fẹ́ jẹ́ ọmọlúàbí. But the moment tó bá ti di pé ó mu àwọn nǹkan tí ò yẹ kó mu, that moment ẹ̀mí mi ti gbé wọ̀ for that moment, because egbògi olóró yẹn, it's a spirit on its own. Ẹ̀mí kan ní fúnra lára ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ wípé tó bá ti lè di pé ó gbaṣẹ́ ṣe mọ́ wọn lọ́wọ́, kó ṣàwọn náà máa wà in control ara wọn mọ́. So ipa tí egbògi olóró ń kó nínú pé jàgídíjàgan wàhálà láwùjọ kò ń ṣe kékeré sá.
tọ ẹ ṣeun gan ni torí èdè yorùbá ní bí a ṣe ń lò jẹ́ kí n sọ pé ojúbọ̀rọ̀ kò ṣeé gbọmọ lọ́wọ́ èkùrọ́ ni. Tọ ẹ ṣeun gan, kó má di pé àwọn èèyàn rò pé tọ wọ́n ti yí òpó yorùbá padà pé ojúbọ̀rọ̀ kò ṣeé gbọmọ lọ́wọ́, kò ṣeé ṣe wèrè, ó ti yé yín bẹ́ẹ̀. Ojúbọ̀rọ̀ kò ṣeé gbọmọ lọ́wọ́ èkùrọ́. Tàbádẹ̀ wò wá rí pé àwọn ìwà ipá yìí náà bí bẹ́ni pé èèyàn fẹ́ sán gìrìlàgìrì ní gbogbo ẹ̀, nítorí wọ́n ní ẹni tó bá máa joyin inú àpáta kò ní wẹnu àké, ẹni tó bá máa lọ sórí àpáta náà láti lọ fàjọgbọ́n òun náà yóò ti gbé nǹkan lura kó tó di pé ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní wíwá jàgínní. Tọ́ ẹ já tẹ̀síwájú. Let's talk about how parents influence. How much influence do parents have on their children's choices regarding substance abuse? Mo mọ̀ kí wọ́n sọ pé ilé náà láti ń kẹ́ṣọ̀ọ́ ròde, ṣùgbọ́n ẹ bá wa tú pàápàá jùlọ pẹ̀lú àpẹẹrẹ sí ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lágbègbè wa níbi tí a wà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì bí báyìí. Officer Ifeoluwa.
Thank you. The influence of parents on their children choices, and in fact I can say decision making, it goes a long way. It's huge because the parent becomes the first role model for children in any society. What the children learn to do, how they talk, how they behave, how they dress, the parents are the first source of inspiration to these children. And the same way, drug use problem. Most times in a family where there is drug use issues, maybe the father is dealing in drugs or the mother is taking drugs, the chances of the children going the same way is very high. Because to them, they are innocent. They see their parents doing this thing. For as far as they are concerned, this thing is good. So they want to call, I want to be like my daddy. I want to be like my mommy. Me too, I want to take this thing. Even though the parents may be saying another thing. But the moment actions and what you are saying contradict each other, you create confusion in the minds of these young ones. And then they decide, no, I want to do what my mommy is doing. I want to do what my father is doing. But if in a family where there is good parental influence, positive ones, you find out that they are giving the right family values, they are giving the right preventive education and right knowledge, accurate information on the dangers of substance abuse, you find out that the parents will go into the society, no matter the pressure, they will resist drug use. So the influence of parents on children is cannot be overemphasized, and that's why every day when we go out, we speak to our parents. Please be a good role model to these children. Do not be the landlord that is giving out your house to people that are selling drugs, and you are telling your children this thing is not good. They will not listen to you. Do not be the mother that is smoking in the presence of your own son or in the presence of your daughter, and you are telling my you don't do this one. They will not listen to you. So if you are going to be a good role model, you need to model the good behavior that we're expecting, which is a lifestyle that is against drug abuse.
ó dà ẹ ṣeun ẹ jẹ́ kí n wá sọ́dọ̀ ọ̀gá wa kejì tí wọ́n tajọ ń wọ́wé ọ̀rọ̀ láàárọ̀ yìí. Kí ni àwọn àpẹẹrẹ tó máa fi hàn wípé tọ ọmọ yìí o ó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣe ó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní kópa nínú lílo oògùn olóró? Kí ni àwọn tó yẹ kí àwọn òbí kí wọ́n wò kí wọ́n ṣe àkíyèsí lára àwọn ọmọ wọn?
ok ẹ ṣe gan olóòtú gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀gá mi ṣe sọ wọ́n ní wípé Yorùbá máa ń sọ wípé ilé la ti ń kó
ẹ̀ṣọ́ ròde.
and then ẹ̀sìn iwájú ni tẹ̀yìn máa ń wò sáré so ipa táwọn òbí ń kó wọ́n nílò láti di pé wọ́n mọ àwọn ọmọ wọn dáadáa torí òbí tí ò bá mọ ọmọ ẹ̀ tí àwọn àpẹẹrẹ yìí bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń farahàn kò ní mọ̀ wípé bóyá aburú kọ̀ọ̀kan ń ṣẹlẹ̀ sóhun fún bí àpẹẹrẹ ọmọ tó jẹ́ pé tẹ́lẹ̀ gbogbo yín ṣeré ó máa ń ṣeré ó máa ń bá àwọn èèyàn sọ̀rọ̀ á jáde ó dẹni tó jẹ́ wípé ó ń dá dì sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ kan ó dẹni tó jẹ́ wípé ó ń ya ara ẹ̀ sọ́tọ̀ nínú ilé kò sírù nǹkan tẹ́ lè máa ṣe bóyá gbogbo èèyàn wà ní sitting room sí yìí wọ́n wo fídíò wọ́n ṣeré òun tiẹ̀ dì sáì pé inú yàrá tiẹ̀ ló wù kó dá dúró sí ó ti ń ya ara ẹ̀ sọ́tọ̀ kúrò lára àwọn èèyàn òbí tó bá jẹ́ pé ó mọ ọmọ ẹ̀ dáadáa ó yẹ kó tiẹ̀ rú lójú pé kí ni nǹkan tó ń ṣe ọmọ yìí tó fi di pé ó ń ya ara ẹ̀ sọ́tọ̀ àpẹẹrẹ kan nìyẹn tó bá ti lè di wípé ọmọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń ya ara ẹ̀ sọ́tọ̀ kúrò láwùjọ àwọn èèyàn ibi tó jẹ́ wípé àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tó bá ti ń sọ ó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú pé bóyá à ń mugbó à ń lo ògùn egbògi olóró kò kí ń fẹ́ gbọ́rú ọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ sétí gbogbo orú ọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn máa ń jẹ́ nǹkan tó máa ń bí nínú pé rárá òwúrọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ báyìí mìíràn àti sọ̀rọ̀ pé kó takò bọ̀ tó bá ti lè gbọ́rù nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn fún bí àpẹẹrẹ a rí àwọn òṣèré wa tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ń lo oríṣiríṣi nǹkan yẹn tẹ́ bá rí ọmọ tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n dárúkọ gbajúgbajà òṣèré kan tó ń lo orú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn tó yẹ pé kò kí ń fẹ́ gbọ́rú ẹ̀ sétí òbí yẹn yẹ kó mọ̀ wípé nǹkan kan ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ilé gbogbo àwọn àpẹẹrẹ tá à ń sọ yìí ó nílò kí òbí ó mọ ọmọ yìí dáadáa so ó ní ṣe ó wà very important kó jẹ́ wípé kí òbí ó ní àjọṣepọ̀ tó dán mọ́rán pẹ̀lú ọmọ ẹ̀ sódà tó bá fi dé pé nǹkan kan ti wà tó ti ń yàtọ̀ fún bí ìwà ọmọ yẹn ṣe rí á lè mọ̀ ọmọ tó ń yára ẹ̀ sọ́tọ̀ láwùjọ and then another thing ọmọ tó jẹ́ wípé bóyá nílé ìwé ó ti ń ṣe dáadáa tẹ́lẹ̀ a lọ sílé ìwé bóyá ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbà ó ló máa ṣepò kíní ó máa délé hákàwé ẹ̀ ó wá dọmọ tó jẹ́ wípé ó kàn máa dé láìròtì tẹ́lẹ̀ ó di pé òun ló di pé ẹni tó jẹ́ wípé ní gbogbo kíláàsì ẹ̀ òun ló máa gbégbá òdo ní kíláàsì ẹ̀ everything so òbí yẹn yẹ kó mọ̀ pé tó bá ti di pé àwọn ọ̀wà yẹn ti and then another thing tó fi lè mọ ìyàtọ̀ yẹn níbi ìmúra ọmọ tó yẹ pé tẹ́lẹ̀ àmúra bó ṣe tọ́ àmúra bó ṣe ó ti dẹni tó yẹ pé tí ò bá ti wọ ṣòkòtò tó fàya tí ò bá ti ṣerun bíi ẹnìkan gbogbo nǹkan tó jọ mọ́ àwọn tó ń lo irú egbògi olóró tó ń lò lónà àfẹ́ máa ṣe so gbogbo àwọn àpẹẹrẹ yìí ni òbí nílò láti farabalẹ̀ mọ irú ọmọ yẹn dáadáa báyìí lọmọ mi ṣe máa ń ṣe bọ́ ó jẹ́ nǹkan tó bani lọ́kàn jẹ́ wípé òbí mi ò lè rílì sọ pé báyìí nìwà ọmọ mi ṣe rí débi pé tí àwọn àpẹẹrẹ yẹn bá ti ń wáyé kò ní lè sọ wípé ìyàtọ̀ wá so òbí tó bá jẹ́ pé kò rílì fi time sílẹ̀ fọmọ àmọ́ wípé torí àwọn ọmọ náà ṣe ń ṣiṣẹ́ wọ́n máa lọ bọ́kọ́ má di pé òbí yẹn máa dára ẹ̀ lẹ́bi wípé iṣẹ́ ló gbójútó kò mójútó ọmọ tó ń torí ẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ ó ṣe pàtàkì kóbi fi àsìkò sílẹ̀ láti mọ àwọn ọmọ yẹn kí ni ìwà tí lágbájá ní tó yàtọ̀ sí títẹ̀mú tó rán ọmọ mi wà tó yẹ pé ó jẹ́ni tó yẹ pé ó máa ń láìkí kó dá wà láyé ara ẹ̀ kò ń ṣe pé bóyá ó mọ nǹkan bọ́ ọmọ tó ti ń ṣeré tẹ́lẹ̀ tó ti ń lára ọ̀pọ̀ tó wá dẹni tó ń yára ẹ̀ sọ́tọ̀ ó yẹ kó ti mọ̀ wípé nǹkan kan ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ilé sọ ara àwọn àpẹẹrẹ yẹn kọ́mọ yára ẹ̀ sọ́tọ̀ ọmọ tó ti ń ṣe dáadáa kó dẹni tó di pé ó ń fìdí rẹmi nílé ìwé ọmọ tó jẹ́ wípé kò kí ń fẹ́ gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú gbòògùn olóró gbogbo ẹni nǹkan kékeré bá àti bí nínú ìwà ẹ̀ ti yàtọ̀ fún gbogbo tèèyàn dẹ́n gbogbo àwọn tó máa ń hu lórí làwọn nǹkan tó jọ mọ́ nǹkan egbòogi olórí so ó ṣe dandan kí àwọn òbí kan fojú sírò àwọn nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn.
ó dà ẹ ṣeun gan ni orí ètò NDLE Wada Half Hour ni ẹ wà báyìí lórí ìkànnì Midas Radio 90.5 FM Àdó Èkìtì tí a ti ń ta àwọn aráàlú lólobó nípa ohun tó yẹ kí wọ́n mọ̀ nípa egbòogi olóró oògùn olóró àti lóríṣiríṣi ní títà ní rírà àti àwọn àmì tó yẹ pé yóò máa farahàn láwùjọ wa tó bá ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú ẹni tó yẹ pé ó ń lo oògùn olóró ohun tí à ń mẹ́nubà lọ́jọ́ tòní ó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ipa tí àwọn òbí ń kó àbí tí wọ́n ní láti kó nípa dídẹ́kun àṣìlò oògùn àti lílo oògùn olóró ní inú ilé láàárín àwọn ọmọ wọn. Nítorí náà ẹ jẹ́ sáré dé òdì kejì náà tí a bá padà dé a ó máa tẹ̀síwájú lórí ètò láàárọ̀ yìí. Ẹ má yí kúrò lórí ìkànnì Midas Radio 90.5 FM Adó-Èkìtì lórí ètò NDLEA WADA half hour ti Káyọ̀dé Adamọ́lẹ́kùn Foundation tí wọ́n ṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ ẹ̀.
Egbògi olóró yìí ṣe nǹkan rẹ̀ ẹ jáwọ́ nú ẹ̀.
ẹ̀jẹ̀ máa bá wọn sọ kí wọ́n má ṣe hùwà ìbàjẹ́ mọ́.
Àjọ tí ń gbógun ti egbògi olóró ẹ̀ka ti ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ń fi àkókò yìí fọ rere sí gbogbo ọmọ ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì lọ́mọdé lágbà lọ́kùnrin lóbìnrin wípé ẹ yàgò fún lílò títà tàbí gbígbìn egbògi olóró bíi igbó tramadol rafnol codeine monkite àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Igbó mímu a máa yani ní wèrè tàbí kó rán ni lọ sẹ́wọ̀n bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó lè ṣekú pa ọ́. Bákan náà là ń rọ gbogbo ọba aláyé ìjòyè àti gbogbo ọmọ onílẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ kí ẹ yàgò láti máa yọ̀ǹda ilẹ̀ wa fún àwọn karambání ẹ̀dá tí ń fi gbogbo ilẹ̀ wa ṣe igbó gbígbìn. Ẹ rí i dájú pé ẹ ṣàbójútó ẹnikẹ́ni tí ẹ bá fún nílẹ̀ ẹni gbépo lájà àti ẹni tó gbà á lẹ̀ ọ̀daràn làwọn méjèèjì. Àwa fi ń tó yín létí pé àjọ NDLEA ti ṣàgbéǹde ètò kan tí a mọ̀ sí War Against Drug Abuse WADA. Ẹnikẹ́ni tí ọwọ́ bá tẹ̀ yóò fi mú kàtà òfin gbé ìgbé àlàáfíà yàgò fún egbòogi olóró. Àjọ NDLEA Èkìtì State Command lolùkéde.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ padà sórí ètò NDLEA WADA half hour lórí ìkànnì Midas Radio 90.5 FM Adó-Èkìtì. Ẹ lè máa wò wá báyìí lójú òpó Facebook wa lórí Midas Radio 905 Midas Radio 905 kí ẹ lè bá wa dá sí ètò yìí láàárọ̀ tó ní nọ́mbà tí ẹ ní àǹfààní láti pèsè ní 0704 100 1905 0704 100 1905. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ojúṣe àwọn òbí láti rí i pé wọ́n dẹ́kun àṣìlògùn àti lílo ògùn olóró láàárín àwọn ọmọ wọn. The next question will come to Officer Ife Fabi this morning, which is about communication strategies. How can parents, create open communication channels to discuss sensitive topics like drugs and drug abuse and peer pressure with their children?
Thank you, sir. My colleagues mentioned some things in that line earlier when she was answering your question. You see, parents shouldn't get so engrossed, so engaged with work that they will not have time for their children. How can they create a communication channel? Number one, have listening ears. Your children may have, maybe they are going through some challenges in school or they are facing some issues, peer pressure, academic challenges, and they need someone to talk to. But each time they tell you, hey, Daddy, I want to discuss something. See, we'll talk tomorrow. Mommy, I want to discuss something with you. You don't have time for them. You don't give them listening ear. It will be a problem. So parents need to create avenue for children to be able to relate with them effortlessly by giving them listening ear. That is one. Number two, they should be a friend to their children. Do not become so hostile and turn your house to a barrack that your children cannot easily access you. They cannot come to you easily. They are afraid. We don't know if our daddy is in a good mood now. We don't know if mommy is in a good mood. We don't know when we can talk to. Be approachable at home. Don't turn yourself to lioness of the tribe of whatever.
Of your house.
Of your house. So create that avenue. And then from time to time, my colleague mentioned it, you need to check on these children. Who are their role models? Who are the people they listen to? What kind of songs do they listen to? What kind of celebrity do they identify with? Is it those that are promoting drug use in their music, in their movies, or those that are speaking against it? You need to look at the kind of friends they move with. And when you're talking about peer group influence, this thing, we cannot limit it to just young people alone. Even adults can be influenced by their peers. Because if you go to junction, all these paraga joints, it is not young children you see there, it is adults. It is all those elderly people who are being influenced by their friends. So peer group influence cut across age group. But if parents are available for their children, you find out that this thing, they can dictate it very, and early detection is very good in preventing addiction. Because one thing with drug abuse is, at a stage, the individual that is using drug will be able to say no. But to get to a stage, they will lose the power to say no by themselves. It will get to a stage, once you get to addiction or what is called dependency, they will no longer be able to say no on their own. Even when they want to say no, the drug will say yes. The drug will control them. That's what we call addiction. Because if they have not taken it, they will not be able to function normally. But if parents can, through early detection, close interaction with their children, if they can detect this thing very early, it will go a long way.
All right, I'm still going to stay with you a little bit. Then I will talk to the other officer right there. When some parents discover some things that's strange about their kids, the first thing they do is to carry cane and beat the blue black out of that child, or scold that child, or just do something in their own opinion. But I want to ask you, what's the right way to counsel a child or to handle a child who is at the early stage of substance abuse? Officer Ife.
All right. Like you said, we cannot in training a child. You need to use what is called carrot and stick approach. You cannot use love all the time, like love without some level of force. The child will not turn out well. There's this saying that ayamode. That's what the Bible says. Ni were disi. So there is a place for minimal force in training the children. But
or should we call it appropriate?
Appropriate. God
discipline.
bless you. Appropriate discipline.
Because when we use, spanking and beating a child, it's actually against the child right law. So,
all right, appropriate measure. Appropriate measure to discipline the child.
Discipline, reinforcement,
But do not become, like I said, do not become the lion and the tribe of your house, where you any small thing. Oh yeah, go and do this one. Any small thing, 50 stroke of cane. It is wrong.
Corporal punishment.
It is very, very. But if you notice that this child is doing this thing, you can draw them close. What they need at that point is not too much aggression. What they need is love. They need to feel loved, for them to be able to open up to you about the struggle they are facing in schools, the struggle they are facing in their community. So you need to embrace them with love, not by shouting on them, not by being hostile. In fact, we've had a situation where it is the son that told the mother, "Mommy, I think I need help. If you can take me to NDLE, their counseling service, maybe to help me." Yes, because the mother was approachable. So it is not everything you carry cane and say, you're already smoking, you're in trouble. No, that is not what we are advocating for.
Calm down.
God bless you. That is not what we are advocating. What we are advocating for is create avenue for these children to be able to approach you, to discuss their struggles and challenges with you. And when they do not take it and begin to use it to stigmatize them. It is wrong. They will withdraw and never talk to you again. And that's what the problem.
Very quickly, because of our time, let's talk about how parents can collaborate with schools. Báwo ni àwọn òbí ṣe lè kópa pẹ̀lú àwọn iléèwé láti rí pé substance abuse láàrin àwọn wọn dẹ́kun àǹtí wa.
Okay.
Ọ̀gá wa dáadáa.
Ẹ ṣe gọ́sà. Ṣẹ̀rí lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ náà gẹ́gẹ́ bọ́gà mi ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan, àwọn òbí gbọ́dọ̀ fààyè sílẹ̀ fún ìbáwí. Ó gbọ́dọ̀ fààyè sílẹ̀ fún ìbáwí. Tó bá fi lè di wípé òbí ti jẹ́ kọ́mọ ẹ̀ jẹ́ ọmọ tí wọn kì í fọwọ́ bà, ọmọ tí wọn kì í bá wí nílé ìwé, ó máa ní problem. In a situation tó jẹ́ wípé ọmọ kan ti wà tó yẹ pé wọ́n ní tó bá fi lè fọwọ́ bá wí o, òun wá wàhálà ìyá ẹ̀ nìyẹn o. Tí irú ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn bá ń ṣe nǹkan tí ò dá nílé ìwé, wọ́n máa gẹ̀ síbẹ̀ ni. Wọ́n á wò pé after all ó máa sanwó school. Tó bá ṣe tó sanwó school, gbogbo wàhálà tó bá kù ìyá ẹ̀ ni. So ìbáṣepọ̀ ṣe pàtàkì láàrin òbí àti àwọn olùkọ́ iléèwé. Kóbi ó jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ̀ wípé ipa tí òun máa kó nílé ó ṣe pàtàkì. Ipa tí àwọn ọ̀gá yìí náà máa kó nílé ìwé ó ṣe pàtàkì. Àwọn òbí need láti fi àwọn ọmọ yẹn sílẹ̀. Kì í ṣe pé bóyá kán jẹ́ kó tíṣà kan máa lu ọmọ ní lùkulù àbí nǹkan kan. Ṣùgbọ́n kò ṣe pé gbogbo ìgbà kan máa sọ pé ọmọ tèmi fífọwọ́ ra lórí ló yẹ. So ó yẹ kán fún àwọn olùkọ́ yẹn láàyè láti lè báṣepọ̀ pẹ̀lú wọn, láti lè tọ́ àwọn ọmọ yẹn bó ṣe tọ́. After all, tá à ń sọ yìí náà, àwọn olùkọ́ yẹn náà lọ́mọ tiwọn náà sílé. Bọ́ tó bá fi lè di pé òbí ń sọ wípé rárá ẹ má bá mi fọwọ́ kan o, ẹ má bá mi ṣe o. Àwọn òfin kan wà tó yẹ pé tí òbí bá ti fún wọn, bọ́mọ ẹ ṣe wà yẹn náà ló ṣe máa bàjẹ́ síbẹ̀. So káwọn òbí kan gba àwọn olùkọ́ láàyè. Tólùkọ́ bá dẹ̀ sọ fún yín pé mo kíyèsí nǹkan kan báyìí tí ò dá nípa ìwà ọmọ yín, kó ṣe wípé kóbi ti gbàgbé rárá o, olùkọ́ yẹn kò fẹ́ràn ọmọ mi ni. Ó ṣe pàtàkì kó jẹ́ pé ròbí yẹn á farabalẹ̀. Nǹkan tólùkọ́ yìí sọ kò lè ṣàdédé rọ́mọ yẹn kó sọrú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀, kó farabalẹ̀ kó tiẹ̀ wo àsìkò, kó wo ọmọ yẹn kí ni nǹkan yẹn tó tíṣà yìí sọ wípé kò dá nínú ìwà ọmọ yẹn. So ó yẹ kí òbí náà máa fetí sílẹ̀ láti gbọ́ nǹkan tí àwọn olùkọ́ ń sọ. Kí ni report táwọn tíṣà ọmọ yìí, kí ni nǹkan tó ń ní school, báwo lọmọ yìí ṣe. And then nǹkan tó ṣe pàtàkì ni pé kóbí kan máa lọ, kò ń ṣe wípé academic performance nǹkan ló yẹ kó jẹ́ pé òbí máa wà after. I think pé ó wà important tóbi náà bá lọ, báwo ni ṣe ṣe ọmọ yìí
àti ìwà ọmọ.
àti ìwà ọmọ yìí.
tọ́ ẹ ṣe o nílùú báyìí lórí ètò lọ́jọ́ tòní. Mo lérò pé ẹ ti rí nǹkan kan dìmú lórí ètò yìí. Mo kàn ń wò pé ètò àárọ̀ yìí ó tún ó fún wa láǹfààní dáadáa láti lè sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ipa tí àwọn òbí ní láti kó láti dènà lílo oògùn lóró àti àṣìlògùn láàrin àwọn ọmọ wọn, àti ìbáṣepọ̀ tó yẹ kó wà láàrin àwọn òbí àti agbègbè àti àwọn iléèwé pàápàá nípa títọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa ní ọ̀nà tó yẹ kí wọ́n tọ́. Àlejò wa láàárọ̀ yìí tí wọ́n yẹ kí wọ́n ti darapọ̀ wá ní ọ́fíìsà Ìfẹ́olúwa Fábíyì láti àjọ NDLEA Command, tí wọ́n jẹ́ ASN àti ASN2 Adékànlá Fọláṣadé àti ASN2 Kolo Yusuf Nurudeen. Títí di ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ tí a tún máa pàdé lórí ètò yìí, orúkọ tèmi ni Olúwaṣẹ́gun Adélékè. Ẹ jẹ́ kí a fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn olùkọ́ àti iléèwé láti rí i pé a tọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa ní ọ̀nà tó yẹ kí wọ́n tọ́. Ire o.